Hello, everyone. This is Patty La Mariposa Hernandez of Mariposas Holistic. I wanted to record a video for you based on the response that I've been receiving from an email or newsletter that I wrote last week titled Depression Hits Again. Now, I want to thank all of you who just took the time to respond to my email or newsletter, send me a text, or find a way to communicate with me to let me know how much you appreciate me. And I really am so thankful for that. The reason I wrote about my personal experience with depression is because I wanted to share with you and be transparent, be authentic. Because so many of you, especially those of you who work with me, always see me upbeat, positive, happy, yet that's only one side of the picture. It's not the entire picture. So I wanted to show you what another way looks like. But after I wrote that newspaper article or that email, it really got me a chance to think about, well, what triggered that depression? And I identified what triggered the depression is, again, not feeling worthy or feeling frustrated because things weren't working out the way I thought they should. And so I also realized I wasn't really being clear with how I think things should look. So I know I get a little confusing just even within my thoughts. So the purpose of this video is really, again, to say thank you, but I wanted to emphasize, the trigger. So what triggered the depression was not so much the depression itself, but it was thoughts. So what I was doing was just working, I had some time. I was in between sessions. I was in between activities. So I had some time on my hands. And when you have time on your hands, then that allows the thoughts to just kind of come in and do their magic, whether positive or negative, but they do. And so that's another thing that I realized. I've been having a lot of downtime. Being an entrepreneur and kind of choosing my own hours, well, that can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. And so in my case, it was starting to become a bad thing. I haven't been busy enough. So I'm starting to identify that and work on it. But one of the things that really helps, and again, that I really want to reiterate, is the importance of your thoughts and how powerful they are. So one of the activities that I usually use with my clients, especially when I notice that it's their thoughts that trigger a lot of, like, let's say their anxiety, panic attacks, depression, or other issues that they're having. So the sheet that I have is basically, it's identifying, well, what are the triggers? What is triggering these thoughts? So when you have a trigger, so for example, one of my triggers is being caught in traffic. I dislike it tremendously. And being in Miami, that happens more often than not. So my automatic thought, again, either negative or positive, but is, oh, here's the traffic again. I'm going to be late. There's always traffic in Miami. It's so frustrating. So those are my automatic thoughts. Woe is me. That's kind of the idea. But automatic thoughts is just that instant thought that comes into your mind after you've been triggered. So an issue that happens. So a new thought, even though the situation doesn't change, but it's how I perceive it. So yesterday I was in traffic, and so instantly my automatic thought was like, oh, here we go again. But then I decided, okay, I'm recognizing I'm going into that negative mode. And then that will kind of reiterate or, explain why I don't like living in Miami, which is the traffic. So instead of that, I decided to reframe my thought and thought to myself, well, this will be a time to listen to some music, listen to a podcast, or focus on my breathing. So again, the situation didn't change, but my thought process did. So then what that meant was I didn't look at the traffic as such a negative thing anymore. I was just like, well, this is part of the process of living in Miami, which has a lot of people, a lot of cars, and a lot of people going in kind of sometimes the same direction. So, to summarize, the power of your thoughts is really important for you to recognize. So once you start identifying what those triggers are, and then your automatic thoughts to it, then you can decide, well, how do I want those thoughts to change? And once you change your thoughts, everything else will follow. So it's not about staying positive all the time, or it's really about that positive psychology. What am I focusing on? Because that is what's going to expand. So if you're interested in that handout, I'll be more than happy to give it to you. Feel free to email me at patriciamariposasholistic.com or respond to this newsletter or leave a message on the comment page if you see it on the YouTube. Whichever way, just contact me, reach out to me, let me know, hey, I want that handout, and I would be more than happy to set up a complimentary consultation with you to go over the form and identify, well, what are ways that you can work on improving your thoughts. And just to end there, the depression, like I mentioned, is not something that's going to go away easily. It's probably going to be with me for my life. And you know what? That's okay. Because what I have are tools to be able to handle it when that depression hits again. So like I mentioned, the depression hit, I cried, I sobbed, I allowed all those negativity thoughts to come through, and then I said, that's enough. I had an hour to be able to sob my worries away, and then I let it go, and then I put a plan into action so I can, get back on my feet. So I'd love to hear from you. One, if you want that handout, I'll be, love to give that to you. But second, what are ways that you handle or identify ways to change your thoughts when you notice them come in? So please leave a comment any which way. I'd love to hear from you. And thank you again for all of your support. It's very humbling for me to be able to share it. But I just want to explain that by sharing it loosens the power that the negativity has over me. So I get to share my experience to show, hey, I do have down times, and I do cry, and I do get sad, and I'm not always so happy-go-lucky, yet it's a work in progress. And I'm so much farther along now in my life at 38 than I was when I was in my 20s. So I just want to say it takes time, but yet we've got it. And more importantly, you have a community. You have a group of people that are here to support you. So thank you so much for listening and watching this video. Share with me how this has been beneficial to you. And I look forward to another inspirational newsletter or vlog coming soon. All right, thank you so much. Have a blessed day.